Yes, sir. Just like that, we are live on this Sunday for the Fantasy Football Insight Live Show. This is your dude, me, Uncle Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. And this is the guy of many different names. You know what I'm saying? Jake, not from State Farm, off golf with my head. But today we got him hanging out with me, so I do appreciate it. What up, Jake?
Not too much. Beautiful Sunday. Got my grocery shopping out the way. House is nice and clean for a football Sunday. Can't wait.
Nice. Okay, so you say went and did your grocery shop. You know, people from New Orleans, we say we went and made groceries. So, if you ever hear anyone say that, we went and made groceries, just know that, it's a New Orleans thing. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, so how are you on this Sunday?
Do what? I didn't hear that.
How are you on this Sunday?
Oh, I'm great. Just relaxing. I was been on vacation from work since Wednesday night, so I've had 4 straight days off. I'm feeling good and relaxed.
All right. So I woke up this morning, man, trying to find my talk shows, my pregame shows, and like this cable thing has just been ridiculous with Disney. Like, you got ESPN1, ESPN2. So I can't much find my channels that I want to watch my shows on. So how are you watching, your shows or anything, like, your sports shows, like Good Morning Football?
Yeah, they do the I'm forgetting his name already. I think it might be Rich Eisen. They do the fantasy report, and it runs like from 7 in the morning all the way until 12. So that's what I'm normally watching.
Yeah. I was watching I normally watch the fantasy football show on ESPN2. So I woke up this morning and find out I couldn't much watch it. So I was like, what the hell? But you know what? There's a lot of y'all out there that was like me. So you know what? You can actually get your questions and get all of that, here on this Fantasy Football Insight Live Show because, this is week 2. And last week, I did project and predict the guy from the fill-in from the the fill-in from the Rams to have a very good game. So I did predict that. So,
hey,
what was
Unc's the running back whisperer. You need to listen to this man.
Hey, that is true. I actually also have picked up Kelly, the Austin Eckler's running back fill-in last week because I knew, he was going to have an issue. But before we get started, so what were some of the picks that you had for, going into this week? Like some sleeper picks.
By player-wise or by team-wise?
Either one.
Well, one of them's already passed, sadly, so this doesn't help nobody. But DeAndre Swift had a heck of a game. I said that earlier in the week. I said I understand Kenneth Gainwell might be their number one, but DeAndre Swift was brought in to be a number one back for him since Miles Sanders is gone, and Kenneth Gainwell they don't trust fully yet. So DeAndre Swift's a great player. If I had to say, I think Kyle Pitts for the tight end position is going to be a really good pick this week. And because I'm going strictly tight ends. Mark Andrews is going to be back too. I think that's with that being Lamar Jackson's favorite target. He could have an absolute stud game. That's not really sleeper, though. If I had to go sleeper, a lot of people still sleep on this guy. You need to play Brandon Ayuk against a really, really shoddy Rams defense.
Yeah, he had a really good game last week, I think, with 2 touchdowns. So,
yes,
that was really good. So, all right, we're about to get this show started. And first thing is always our injury report. All right, and we are back with the injury report. So the biggest injury out that's going into week 2 is Austin Eckler. He's been ruled out. Joey Bosa is expected to play for the Chargers. So that's a big game. That's a big hit for a lot of you fantasy football owners out there with Austin Eckler. So we're going to get into more of that during the Stardom Sit-em. But so with the Seahawks at Lions, they have for the Seahawks Jamal Adams, tackle Charles Gross, and defensive end Mike Morris. They're out. Questionable. We have Devin Bush, linebacker. On the Lions side, they don't have any real big names that are out right now. But I think we got DB Khalil Dorsey. I don't think that will have many lineup implications. Next game, we got the Chiefs at the Jaguars. So the Chiefs, of course, last week, we had Travis Kelce who was out, and the Chiefs' deep offense looked very lethargic, they look lost. So Travis Kelce, he's coming back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's listed as questionable with an illness. So I don't know if he's expected to play, but definitely something you want to be on the lookout for. On the Jag side of the ball, they don't have many noticeable, players that are out. The biggest name I see here maybe is the safety, and then Antonio Johnson with the hamstring. He's listed as out for today's game. Next game we have is the Bears at Buccaneers. On the Bears side, they're pretty much healthy. They only have a DB, Josh Blackwell, who's listed as doubtful with a hamstring injury. On the Buccaneers side of the ball, they don't have anyone that's really sticking out here that's out, but Carlton Davis, the cornerback, he's listed as out with a toe injury. I don't know. I've never had a toe injury, but those things, I hear they really are painful. Next game, we got the Colts at the Texans. So on the Colts side, we got tight end Kalen Granson, who's listed as questionable as with a hamstring injury. On the Texans side, they don't have the only big name they have here is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, who's listed with the right shoulder, he's questionable, but I think he still might be able to play. And Zach Moss, running back Zach Moss, he's supposed to be coming back this week, so that's going to be a huge boost to that Colts offense. So next game we have the Chargers at the Titans. Of course, the big name is Austin Eckler, who's been ruled as out. On the Titans side, they only have the only big name here we have is DeAndre Hopkins, who's listed as questionable. So he should be able to play. I think it's just something for the Titans. They're not looking too promising for Hopkins, who said that his injury situation is a day-to-day process. So definitely you all might want to adjust your lineups and be on the lookout on that DeAndre Hopkins situation. Next game, we got the Raiders at the Bills. On the Raiders side, they have Jacoby Myers and defensive end Chandler Jones, who's ruled out for this game. On the Bills side, even though they took their confidence should be hurt after injured after that week 1 loss, but they have a healthy Bill, healthy Bill, I guess. What is it? Yeah, healthy Bill. However that go, but their whole team is healthy. Next game we have Ravens at Bengals. On the Ravens side, they got Marlon Humphrey, who's listed as out, and Mark Andrews, the tight end, he will play today. So that's definitely a real big boost to people who took him high in the draft this year. So Mark Andrews was a full participant in practice on Friday. So, of course, he's going to make his season debut today. On the opposite side, we got the Bengals. Only name that I'm seeing here that sticks out maybe is Chris Evans with a hamstring injury. He's listed as questionable. Next game we have is the Packers at the Falcons. On the Packers side, this is a big one. Aaron Jones with a hamstring. He's been ruled out for this game. Christian Watson, he was limited in practice on Friday, so he's listed as questionable for today's game. So definitely keep an eye out on his status. But Aaron Jones, he's definitely going to hurt some lineups. So if you have Aaron Jones, you should have been like myself, who picked him up last week, who picked up his replacement, A.J. Dillon. On the Falcons side, not any big names on here. They got Jeff Okadua with the foot listed as questionable. Running back Cordell Patterson was listed on the injury report this week, but, he was a full participant, so, he should be good to go. Next game, we have 49ers at the Rams. On the 49ers side, they have a cornerback, but he's just on the injury report. There's no designation if he's questionable or out. So I guess, you can say that the 49ers are healthy. On the Rams side, they don't have anyone that's real noticeable, but Puka Nuka, however they go, with an oblique injury, he's listed as questionable. Next game, we have the Giants at the Cardinals. On the Giants side, they got Wan'Dale Robinson, who's listed as doubtful with a knee injury. So definitely make sure that you pay attention to his status for today's game. For the Cardinals, they got Josh Wood, Buda Baker, who's out with a hamstring, Josh is out with an ankle injury. Buda Baker is out with a hamstring injury. Next game, we have Jets at the Cowboys. Yes. Shout out to the Jets. We got Coach Lee, SCWF's own, will be out there tailgating and witnessing this victory by the Jets. I tell you, the Jets.
Wow, really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So on the Jet side, they got Breece Hall, who's listed as questionable. That's the only noticeable person. But they got kicker Greg Zuerlein, who's listed as out. But I'm pretty confident that Breece Hall is going to play today. So I don't think that's something to be alarmed of. Now, on the Cowboys side, they have Barton Cooks, who looked banged up after his first week out. He's listed as doubtful with a knee injury. Next game, we got the Commanders at the Broncos. On the Commanders side, they only have Quan Martin, their defensive back, who's out. On the Broncos, of course, we all know that Greg Deluche is out with the hamstring. So definitely he's going to be impacting and hurting some lineups this morning. Next game, we got the Dolphins at the Patriots. On the Dolphins side, they have offensive tackle Teron Armstead, who's jacked up. He has a back injury, ankle injury, a knee injury, but he's still listed as questionable. Like, God dang, that guy's tough.
My ankle, my knee, my back.
Right. He sounds like Ezel on Friday. Next game,
Right.
we got, on the other side, we got Patriots. They don't have any noticeable. We got Devontae Parker, who has a knee injury, but he's listed as questionable. So everyone should be okay with that, of course. On the Dolphins, everyone should be happy to see Raheem Mostert and wide out Jalen Waddle. They're going to play. They're going to play today. They were on the injury report earlier this week, so no need to be alarmed there. Next game that I'm definitely going to be watching out for. Let me put on. I know y'all see me rocking the Bengals jersey, but my Saints gear is always nearby. It's always nearby. So this game, we got the Saints at the Carolina Panthers on Monday night, which will be a doubleheader game. So on the Saints, we just got running back Kendre Miller, who's listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. On the other side, the Panthers, they have DJ Chark, who still has yet to make his season debut. He's listed as questionable on for the Panthers at the wide receiver position. Next game, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Steelers. On the Browns side, they have Amari Cooper, who's listed as questionable. So definitely myself, I'm going to be watching his status just to make sure he's able to play. So, he had aggravated his groin injury on Saturday at practice. So definitely watch the status on that. Next, on the other side, we have the Steelers side. We have running back Anthony McFarland and Deontay Johnson are both listed as out. Now, with that, man, I needed a drink and a break. That was a lot, but we got through it, and that was our segment on the on the injury report. So, before we go and take a quick break, so which injury maybe hurt it or impacted your lineup this week?
Mine was definitely Austin Eckler. When he went down, I had to re-switch everything, along with one Jacoby Myers. So I lost a receiver and a running back, and it hurt. Luckily, Jalen Hurts, the Philly kicker, Elliott, and the defense boosted my points up quite a lot, but I had to make quick timing decisions on who I was going to put in and throw in, and I believe Kelly had already been picked up, so I had nothing to replace it.
Nice.
I'm still looking pretty solid in the developmental league. I'm excited. I think I should be doing just fine. But those two injuries affected my lineup pretty bad.
Nice. Yeah, I project you to win now that you actually got your first win. You're no longer a rookie. I respect you now, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. And look, just talking about that, we're about to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with the favorite part of the show, and that is the starts and not the sizzle. No one else cares about that. So we'll appreciate that. Y'all sit right down and be right back.
Little J's Donuts and more. Located in Harahan at 1301 Hickory Avenue. Come in for donuts, savory breakfast, king cakes, and more. Check us out on Facebook at Little J's Donuts or or on our website, littlechasedonuts.org.
Bam, and we're back with more of the Fantasy Football Insight live show. This is the dude, Uncle Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. And boom, to my right, left, one of these sides, we got my guy Jake, not from State Farm, man. How's it going? Again.
Yeah, doing great. Hey, you're right. I am a man of many names. Jake, not from State Farm, the villain, golf with their heads. I gotta find one and just stick with it.
Nice. Definitely give a shout out to Josh and Little Gates, man. We with you during this time of bereavement. But man, now we're on to our favorite part of the show. Start. All right, yes, man. You know what? I got to get some more music in that thing. It seems like I'm holding for customer service, but while we're holding to get y'all questions answered, this is the point where you can drop your questions. You know, any line of questions you might have, you can drop them in the chat, and we will give you our suggestions on who you should play. All right, so this week, the start of the week is Jared Goff, the Detroit Lions quarterback. What do you think about that?
I love it. I think Jared Goff proved himself last year to be a very high-quality quarterback. He's got a great receiver to throw to. They've got a nice rookie tight end with him, and then they went out and got David Montgomery, who's a nice pass-catching back. Jared Goff could be a very pivotal quarterback for anybody who's in need of a quarterback. Or if you already have him, I think you're in luck.
Facts. You know, like I've been to Jared, you know, well, I wasn't a Jared Goff fan coming out of college, but then, you know, doing his play over the years, I became like, okay, you know what? Hey, this guy's pretty good. And the Detroit Lions, they have confidence through the roof. You know, they were able to get them a week 1 win. So I definitely think that, you know, that bolsters his confidence going into this week. You know, we've seen St. Brown making some great plays for him. The running backs had a really good game. So I'm with you on that. I do agree that, you know, I do agree that he should definitely have a great game this week. All right, so
a lot of people like to poo on him too because of his ending stint with the Rams. But people forget this guy was a first overall pick. He did get to a Super Bowl. He just needed the right fit, and the Rams, mainly McVay, wanted a veteran quarterback in there that he knew could throw or whatever. But he gave up on Goff too early, and the Lions are taking a not broken quarterback who gets injured all the time. And they got themselves a nice young quarterback for the future because he's still in his, I believe, mid-20s.
Yeah, he's 28. So, yeah, definitely going up. And he had the right matchup going up against Seattle, who's ranked 14th against opposing quarterbacks. So that definitely sets him up to be a confident start in your lineup this week. Next quarterback we have is Tua Tagovailoa. Now, the only thing that I'm upset with this guy is that I didn't get a chance to pick him up this year because last year the dude was phenomenal. I knew it. His team was high scoring. So to me, he's a must start every week. And then they're going up against your team, the New England Patriots, so who's ranked 15th against opposing quarterbacks. So I think that's a good start too. What do you think about that?
I do like it, but only because of who his receivers are. If he didn't have a Tyreek Hill or a Jalen Waddle, I don't think he really has anything else to give because it's literally a Tyreek's down there somewhere and freaking launches the ball. So that's exactly what Josh Allen was 2 years ago. So you got the right what am I trying to say? The right mix for Tua to succeed.
Right, agree. You know, so last week he came off of a 3 touchdown game. So you know, he's a must start for me. Next one we have is Anthony Richardson. Next one we have is Anthony Richardson going up against Houston's defense. So, you know, last week, you know, we seen he was able to score and, you know, and push his team in different ways, you know. So I definitely think they have the confidence to go to Houston and get a win. So I don't think Anthony Richardson will be a QB1 type of quarterback, but I definitely think he'll be a QB2 high value. Hey, what up, too? We see you in the building, man. Appreciate
How
that.
we doing,
Appreciate it. Next we got Daniel Jones. You know, last week, you know, I thought he was going to do something. I was just being, you know, I was reaching. against Daniel Jones, doing well against the Dallas Cowboys. But this week he's going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who's ranked number 19 against opposing quarterbacks. So, oh man, then we got to take a quick pivot and give a shout out to my big bro, man, by your boy Lando. I see you tapped in the chat. He says, "Greetings from Germany." Blessings out there. Wait, something. I got some German friends that I work with, and they be saying something in German. So I try to say it right there, But to answer your question, we got a question in the chat: AJ Dillon or Pachenko? I mean, definitely I'll go with AJ Dillon, just because the play of love. Just because of the play of love, and we've seen that the Packers can actually move the ball. They can move it successfully, and they can they have a good throwing game. And Love is always a dual threat. So with that, I'll definitely take AJ Dillon over Pachenko. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I believe you're right with the AJ Dillon pick, because Patrick Mahomes, I believe, is going to be definitely more prone to throwing this time around to try to prove himself again. Like, hey, I am that guy. I'm going to be throwing it to Kelsey. I'm going to make Tony catch the ball finally. Learn that you got some hands that you can use. I think A.J. Dillon's going into the starting role, and every time A.J. Dillon goes into a starting role, he never shows up.
No, yeah, that's a good call out. But and Pachenko, they Kansas City defensive back is just too crowded. You can't really think who's going, because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he has the possibility to play. They still got Jerick McKinnon. So there's a lot of but we know one thing in Green Bay, AJ Dillon's going to be that guy. So definitely with that. So what you think, Geno or Dak?
It's tough to say. I mean, that's another tough one, man. I hate when I get asked the tough ones, man, but that's what we're here for, right? After last week's showing, I think you definitely have to go with Dak. I know you shouldn't go off of last week. You should look about who they're going against this time. The problem is Dak's going against a really, really tough defense. Geno's looking to have a bounce-back game, and Denver does have one of the best young cornerbacks in the game. It's really a toss-up, but I think the only reason Dallas and the Jets game are close is because defense wins championships, and the Jets have one of the best defenses. But just from what I saw last week, I got to go with Dak.
What you saw last week that makes you go with Dak? What? Yeah, if
40-0.
If it was that was defense, but I would definitely.
That's why I said defense wins championships.
That is true. You said that. And talking about defense, New York Jets, they have a pretty good defense as well. So with Sauce Gardner and a lot of their secondary is really good. So I will take, and you know what? They have the New York Sack Exchange. They're going to get after and hit that. And Dak's going to get frustrated, and he won't know what to do. He's going to start making, those mistakes. So if it was me, I would definitely go with the safer pick, because Geno stays within the confines of his system. So with Dak, it's his offense, so he can maybe start doing some erratic plays and, making some mistakes. So I would go with Geno. So let us know how that goes. I would definitely be monitoring that, because, that'll be something we'll have to pay attention to next week, see who was right.
Revisit that one.
But that was a good pick. Exactly. So next game we have, it's funny, they're on our bust alert. So sleepers. So this week they have Derek Carr. He's a sleeper going up against Carolina. Last week, I picked Derek Carr as a sleeper, to have a great game. He had 300 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Do I think that will be the same play this week? I think it might be a little bit lesser, because I do feel that Carolina is going to try and run the ball. They're going to try and put the ball on the ground, control the pace of the game. So I don't think he would be a sleeper. I think, I would actually sit him this week if I had other options. What do you think about Carr and the Saints?
I do. It's another tough one. I think Carr has really good moments. He's got that veteran leadership mojo to him, like that video I tagged you in earlier in the week. he wants to go out there and he wants to sling and he wants to have fun, but that could also be very detrimental to you. But if you have someone better and he's just your backup, absolutely sit him. I understand you're going against Carolina, but that's a young, hungry defense. So, yeah,
Right.
sit on that one.
Yeah. So next sleeper is Brock Purdy. I think that they're just sitting him just because of the Rams defense. They're ranked 11th against opposing quarterbacks. But you know what? After week 1, I am sold on the Purdy show. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with the CMC, they're finding different ways to move the ball. So to me, until San Francisco and Brock Purdy proves me wrong, I would play Brock Purdy. Next one,
absolutely. He knows how to make George Kittle look like the superstar tight end that he is. He gets the ball to Kittle. The only one who's been lacking on that offense has been Deebo Samuel. But they don't need him when they got freaking Ayuk getting 2 touchdowns a game, CMC catching and running one in, and then you got George Kittle getting receptions out the wazoo. I mean, you've turned into pretty much just a flank guy to scare the defense on the right side, and you open up the left. It's crazy.
Facts. Next one we have is Baker Mayfield. So he's a sleeper sit. He's a sleeper on here. Last week, I started him because, I seen a matchup and I seen, where he's at. He's trying to make a comeback. So this week he's a sleeper. And I think, once again, until he shows me differently, I'm playing him. He has a great matchup here going up against a 30th ranked defense against opposing quarterbacks in Chicago. So to me, if you need a reach, if you need that player, that X factor to just get you some points that you didn't expect, I would definitely I would play Baker Mayfield this week.
I 100% agree with you. Baker Mayfield, and I'm going to tell you one reason why you need to start him, because he's pissed off. This guy has been shunned, shafted, taken away from Cleveland, sent somewhere he didn't want to be, got picked up by the Rams. The Rams said, all right, we're good. Don't worry, we got our quarterback. You can go somewhere else. He's taken over down in Tampa Bay, not for Tom Brady, because that's not Tom Brady's home. He wasn't taking over for Tom Brady. He's taken over a new team who needs identity at quarterback. He, last week, went off. This is a guy you need to play.
Agreed. All right, next section is the bust alert. So this week they're saying Kirk Cousins will be a bust. Yeah, I agree. Next one, they're saying Dak Prescott will be a bust going up against New York Jets. And the next bust we have is Geno Smith going up against.
Ironic.
Yeah, exactly. He has 2 quarterbacks that's projected to be busts. But, as we said earlier, Dak Prescott's going up against the 11th ranked defense against opposing quarterbacks. So, that doesn't bode well. But on Geno Smith's side, he's going up against the 29th ranked defense against opposing quarterbacks. So definitely, I think, Geno once again is the smarter play. So now they've got a sit in the 2 QB league, and shout out to all our big leaguers. We have in our Cash Me Out league, that's a league where we have 2 quarterbacks. So they're saying Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kenny Pickett, just to name a few quarterbacks. So now on to our running backs. Wow. All right. I don't know how James Conner is still being relevant and spoken and talked about, till this day. Like it's just crazy. Just shout out to him.
100%. That's the word I was just about to use, Unk. It's crazy. It really is. The thing is, he's probably the most boring fantasy football pick you could make, but he got me like 14 points last week. I don't understand what he's doing. How, like you said, how's he staying relevant? What's this guy doing? What's he got? What does he bring to the table? Well, he brought me 14 points.
Nice. So James Cook. Last week I said sit him. This week I would say definitely start him going up against 21st ranked defense against opposing running backs. Next one we got Rachaad White. Quickly going through this, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams. Those are some of the starts. Which one that you think is the top start of the week for, the top start at the running back position out of those couple that we just named? James Conner, James Cook, Rachaad White, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams. Who do you think is going to have a better game?
For how well David Montgomery looked in week 1 and how many points he was able to get in a brand new offense that ended up being, his rival from last year, the Lions. He looked really good, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to start getting a couple more carries. They didn't draft him for him to sit on the bench behind him. So I'm going to say Rachaad White should be your starter out of all those. I think he's going to have a great time in Tampa.
Oh, nice. All right, cool. I like that projection. So sleepers. So we got sleeper Isaiah Pacheco, Raheem Mostert, Samaje Perine, Tyler Algier, Gus Edwards. Who do you think is going to be the top performer out of those?
Can you give me the top 2 again real quick? I'm sorry.
Isaiah Pacheco and Raheem Mostert.
Yep.
So Samaje Perine, Tyler Algier, how do you pronounce his last name? Gus Edwards.
Man, you know what? That's tough because I really like the last 2 guys on the list, Tyler Algier and Gus Edwards, because Gus the Bus has always been a great backup to J.K. Dobbins, meaning when he got the starting role 2 years ago, last year, he got injured right after he did, so we didn't really get to see him last year. So I'm gonna have to go with Gus Edwards. I think that because the Bengals' running defense isn't all that great, I think Gus Edwards is a great pickup for anybody who wants that running back.
Nice. All right, I can dig it. All right, and running backs to sit: Najee Harris, Cam Akers, Khalil Herbert, Antonio Gibson. I mean, it's easy, Antonio Gibson, because he's in the doghouse after that fumble, and then he got replaced, and that guy went bananas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Brian Robinson Jr. Yes, he went bananas. So I think he's gonna have to fight back for his position. And honestly, I wouldn't start anyone in a running back position going up against Denver because I'm third. Against the run.
Starting Najee Harris this week would be awful too, because Cleveland's defensive line was outstanding against Joe Mixon and company last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Mm-hmm. So playing Najee Harris, who has little to no help on that offensive line already, I wouldn't start him.
Yeah. Now this one here definitely is this is the bustler, Breece Hall. So they're going up against Dallas, who's ranked number 8, And yeah, I benched Breece Hall last week because I still wanted to see where he was at, and I seen it. And after that, he's locked in. He's a lineup lock for me. So I'm starting Breece Hall. Now we're going on to the wide receivers. Wide receivers to start: Zay Flowers, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. Out of those wide receivers, which one do you think will have the best game? Zay Flowers.
You're really going to think I absolutely love the Buccaneers. You're really going to think I absolutely love the Buccaneers, and it ain't that thing, but it's Mike Evans. You saw the connection him and Mayfield had last week. You got to start Mike Evans. He still had, I believe, I think it was like 15 or 16 fantasy points. That's a great matchup. Them two right there. Start Mike Evans out of that. Zay Flowers is a close second, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Mike Evans, because of course, once again they're going up against a porous Chicago defense, so and they still need Justin Fields to show up so the defense can get the ball and have the offense on the field, a whole lot longer. So I definitely agree with you on Mike Evans. So sleepers, they got Nico Collins, Romeo Doubs, Michael Thomas. It just hurts my heart to see that he's a sleeper. Josh Reynolds and Kadarius Toney. I was about to drop Kadarius Toney. So out of those sleepers, which one do you think is better get? Kadarius Toney, Josh Reynolds, Michael Thomas, Romero Doubs, Nico Collins.
Man, it's after last week, there ain't no way anyone who owns this guy should not be starting him. Romeo Doubs was outstanding. I thought Christian Watson was going to be the Green Bay number 1, get all the passes, have the stats this year. Romeo Doubs went off.
Yes, he made a name for himself, clearly. All right, cool. So next part, we have wide receivers to sit. We have Garrett Wilson with the Jets, Drake London with the Falcons, George Pickens with the Steelers, Scary Terry McLaurin with the Commanders.
So I
Who do you
have
think's
Terry
gonna have?
McLaurin, and I had him sit.
Yeah, I
I
think it's
said
safe to say all of it.
I
No,
set
finish.
Terry McLaurin because I had Mike
Okay.
Evans. As much as it hurts because I've
Sorry.
talked about George Pickens, they have Denzel Ward to worry about. He's not going to get anything off of him. I mean, I'm with you, Unc. Absolutely not. Don't start any of them.
Back they all dumpster garbage. Next segment, next Puka Nacua. So of course I think they're going up against the really good defense, the 49ers, but I think now he should be added to to your lineups because like I said last week, he knows the routes that Cooper Kupp ran, so he's a fill-in for Cooper Kupp, and until Cooper Kupp comes back, I definitely think, and he starts becoming double, I think you should play him. Next segment we got tight ends. Tight ends to start is Evan Ingram, Sam Laporta, Cole Kmet. Out of those three guys, who do you think is going to have a better game? Evan Ingram, Sam Laporta, Cole Kmet.
It's a very tough toss-up for me, but I'm definitely going Evan Ingram just because he has a stronger connection to his quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I think Sam Laporta will get there with Jared Goff, but right now I think Evan Ingram's the guy that you want out of that list.
Yeah, I had picked up Evan Ingram last season toward the end after he came off of his injury because I knew how great this guy was in New York, but he failed to meet my expectations. But I think it's going to pick back up this season because he was at the end of it going to be a force to be reckoned with. So sleeper tight ends, we have Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid, Luke Musgrave. So which one of those three is going to have the
being honest with you, I don't know anything about those three guys
better game?
except for
or do you think
Dalton
you should
Kincaid.
sit?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. You were cutting out a little bit. To be honest with you, I don't really
Or
know
maybe
much
start.
about. I don't know very much about the three of these. I think Dalton
Luke
Kincaid.
Musgrave.
I'm getting lost in the sauce. Everyone keeps forgetting about Dawson Knox, and I understand they drafted Dalton Kincaid, but the Buffalo Bills don't use their tight ends like they're supposed to. No, since last year.
Yeah,
so I guess Kincaid.
Yeah, well, I had Dalton Kincaid last week, and I started him, but then also, during the game, and I started seeing how they started putting the ball up. Exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely, yeah, I would take my expectations. I would sit them all until they prove that they can, they're actually a part of the offense. Tight ends to sit. They got Dalton Schultz with Texas. Houston. Gerard Everett with the Chargers. I think both of that's
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm with you. I'm sitting both of them. Gerald Everett's a really
oh man,
good tight
see,
end.
I got to start talk. I got to talk to Spectrum. They're killing the home Wi-Fi. Can you hear me, Jake?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're still a little choppy. You go in and out, and I'm trying to wait.
Matrixing back in and out.
Yes,
like a part of the
pretty
Matrix.
much.
Teleport.
Exactly.
You can hear me? Yes, you can't hear me now.
No, wait, I can hear you. I can hear you a little bit. I don't like either of those tight ends, Gerald Everett or the one we were talking about, because I had missed that one. So yeah,
Well,
that's
just
a
go
definite
ahead.
sit for both of them.
Yeah, we're about done now. So
Couldn't hear you that time.
all right, cool. So, let me get up out of here. Just want to give y'all, defense lines at Seattle, the Buccaneers at Chicago, and a defense to sit is the Jaguars, and of course that's only because of the matchup against Kansas City. And with that, that is all of Week 2's Fantasy Football Insight Live show.